All right. Excellent. I'm listening to that intro music, and my wife doesn't like the music, so at some point I'll change that. But welcome, Friday afternoon at 2:30. My name is Todd Rains. I'm in my shop here in Allen, Texas, and coming to you through Facebook and YouTube. So these live streams happen now, going to be every second Friday, although next week is SWAT, so I'll have to do that from the show floor. It may be a very short one. We'll have to see how that goes, but the plan is to kind of go every 2 weeks now. So every week was just a little bit tough, just hard to manage with a bunch of other stuff going on. So I want to thank everybody for joining me here today and joining me in this series of other side, Todd, 6-episode tag team series with Cindy. So this is my last episode in the series. This is my third one. Cindy's is next week. Before we get going too much further, there's a few people here. So David Perez, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Looking forward to see you make more great Bottlestoppers. Well, we'll see. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, David. And Philip, good evening from the UK. Good to have you here, Philip. Thank you for joining. And Tony, excellent. Good to have you here. Thank you very much. And Dan Hewitt, okay, all the way from New Zealand. He's getting up early for this one. So, and Tim, we showed Tim's Bottlestoppers last week. Tim, I don't know, was on the stream last week, but Tim, we showed a few pictures of yours that you sent me. So keep up the work, and the Bottlestoppers look fantastic, by the way. So. And my local club member, Chris Cohen's in the house. Thanks for joining, Chris. So here is how to get a hold of me, who I am. Let me get my face off there for a second. Todd Rains, Woodturning Tool Store, phone number and email address, contact form on the website, woodturningtoolstore.com. So if you need anything or questions answered, or if you want to share your turnings with me, that'd be great too. So that's how to get a hold of me. So this is kind of what we're doing, and I showed this one, the schedule. We're now on August 12th, Friday, 2:30 Central. Todd Rains, is doing resin inlay on Bottlestoppers. So I'll show a bit of what I've learned and a bit of what I'm going to do today. So and we'll talk about the slippery slope that we're on. So next Thursday, August 18th, Cindy's got her last session. She's going to do something with a burl, of course, so probably a burl, a bottle stopper of some sort. Don't know. She's currently doing a juried art show somewhere in Colorado. So wishing her good luck and great success at the show. Let's, what's next? So that's her graphic. She'll be on noon at Mountain Time, so 1 o'clock Central Time. So we're in different time zones on Thursday next week. So check her out. Follow her on Facebook or YouTube. Do the same for me. If you're on Facebook, give it a like. If you're on YouTube, give it a thumbs up or whatever it is, and get notified. Subscribe to the channel if you would. That'd be nice too. So I talked about SWAT briefly. It's next week, or not next week, 2 weeks from now. And so the Southwest Association of Turners, second largest symposium in the U.S., probably maybe in North America or the world. I'm not quite sure, but we're expecting 800 to 900 folks attend. There's like probably 30 or 40 vendors. It's a great facility. Deal with the heat. It's in Waco, Texas, and it should be a lot of fun. I'll be there. Cindy will be there. In fact, all 6 of the vendor showcase folks will be there, along with many other vendors. And I will be demonstrating this year. I will do 2 rotations, turning small plates. I've done that demo for clubs as well as an IRD for other folks. And so check that out. Come join us if you could. I'm sure we'll be doing some, like I said, live stream from the show floor at some point. So we'll see how that goes. Michael, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. So here are some of the. So this is the post I put on Facebook last week, or maybe with this announcement of the live stream. Some successes, some failures, right here. So, and we always go through that as turners. We figure out how to do it right and what we did wrong. So on the, I guess, what would it be? Your left, the maple one. I've got some. That one was a Luminite resin pour. And embedded is some opal and some gold leaf chunks on top of a pearlescent white mica powdered epoxy floor. So lots of errors and problems with the one. There's tons of bubbles in it from the Luminite. I don't have a pressure pot, so I was trying just a straight pour. And there's some cloudy figures on top of the the opal. So I'm thinking there's some moisture trapped, possibly inside the gold leaf, because I just crumpled up a little bit of gold leaf. So there's air pockets in that probably that cause some issues. So all kinds of things to learn and figure out. So how do we control all that? Well, I don't have all the answers, but hopefully you can help me along the way. The one on the right is the orange one. By the way, the one on the left is maple. I like the shape. It's kind of a shape of an upside down candlestick form that I typically turn. Somewhat reminiscent of that. And then the one on the right is orange. I dyed it. It's a piece of oak, and that is a piece of PowerShell sheet with the Solar Res UV Cure resin. And so we'll do a bit of that today. That's all we're going to be able to do today. I'm not going to be able to pour acrylic, although I will give you some results of other ones. So. Yeah, excellent. Scott, good to have you here. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. So here's some results of the other ones. There's a close-up. You can see the bubbles. You can see the cloudiness on top of the blue. Just a lot of problems. So I've learned, obviously, I wanted to try the Luminite to see if I could pour it without bubbles. No matter what you do, you need a pressure pot for a Luminite. You can see this one, tons of bubbles in it. Lots of opal like kind of scattered around. I will say the Luminite turns like a dream with just regular turning tools. So, and there's a side shot, lots of bubbles. So if you're doing a Luminite, you're going to need a pressure pot. And there are some solutions around that. There you got some mother of pearl and some red opal on a blue background. That one looked the sort of red, white, and blue. I really like the color scheme in that one, and I'll turn these and see what they look like. I'm not going to be useful for anything but learning. So and that's a side view. You can see a tremendous amount of bubbles. I will say when I poured this and I stirred it, it was absolutely bubble free inside the little container, and I poured slowly. It's rather warm in the shop, so it was relatively liquidy. So it wasn't until after it started to set that the bubbles formed. So lots to learn, when to pour, what temperature to pour that, and all that kind of stuff. But we'll talk about that in a second. So that's it for the show and tell. Let me go overhead, and we've got a bucket here, and I'm going to show you a little bit of what I got here and where I'm at with resin and stuff. So I debated, and I think I'm going to hold off on getting a pressure pot. I just don't have really the space or the time to get into that sort of setup. It takes a dedicated area to kind of do it, and certain tooling. I've got some of it. I could easily add the pressure pot and get stuff done, but that's a whole other road I'm not sure I want to go down at this point in my turning career. But There's plenty of people that do, plenty of success had, so it's a lot of fun. And I got inspired by Scott Groves doing his demo with Cindy earlier this year, or December last year. And then Emma Cook has done quite a few resin castings and pours that I've been following along with. So two people of turners that I kind of like, and I just started looking at Zach Higgins. I got a ton load of videos on this stuff on YouTube, so check those out. So Glenn, good to have you here. Thank you. Good afternoon. And David, good to have you here. I'm glad you made it too. So good stuff. Scott is there. Yeah, she's watching on my end. She's watching the moderating the YouTube channel, so there's hopefully no interruptions. So Richard, thank you for coming. Try spraying with a heat gun while liquid or spraying alcohol. Yeah, I did a heat gun. What I had found out is I got the regular Illuminite, and it's got maybe a 7-minute working time. So in this summer heat anyway, if you and that's barely enough time to pour and get in the pressure pot and get it stuff done. So I would probably try, if I did this again in pressure pot, I would get the slow, the Lumelite Clear Slow, I think. Give you a bit more working time, I think up to 12 or 20 minutes. I can't remember exactly what. Check the websites for that stuff. I got this stuff, Lumelite, from Curtis Seebeck at Turntex. He also does stabilization stuff. So, but yeah, good tips, Richard. Just not enough time for me. Oh, he's saying hi, and Michael's saying hi to everybody. So, what is this bucket about? So let me just get myself off here. This was a let's see if that, yeah. So Cowboys game. I don't know if this was a beer bucket or a popcorn bucket. I can't remember. It's like 10 years ago, the inaugural thing. But I've had it sit in my shop for way too long, and so I've got inside. It's just a good container for all the stuff that I'm doing today. So let me. I didn't turn that on again. I keep forgetting to do that. Let me widen this out a little bit. A little too much right there. So we got UV safety glasses. We got the UV light. So a lot of the stuff I got from Scott Grove. Keep your light in the container so you don't actually accidentally expose it to yourself. So keep the container and keep it in there. So that's the flashlight. We got Glue Boost accelerator, which is Glue Boost is a CA glue. I will say that this is ultra thin. I put this in a little tub and add some color to it. It stayed liquid for a good 30-40 minutes. I was quite amazed that it didn't cure. So you have a lot of open time with that stuff, which is kind of nice. We've got Solar Res. So Solar Res is a UV cured resin. Uses this light to cure it, this UV light. So that, and then we got a couple of, so this one is the grain sealer and filler. So that's kind of a good base to start with. Then we got some doming resins, a flex finish and a duro finish. I'm not sure. This one's hard and flexible. This one's just flex finish. I'm not sure the actual differences there. Then we've got material. We've got a bunch of opal. There's some nice confetti color, some nice red dragon's eye. These are little samples, some other stuff, and then the blue. I've used a lot of the blue already. So mother of pearl. I like the white. There's flake and fine grain stuff. So and then all of these guys are, I got tweezers. You need tweezers. You might need tweezers. The PowerShell abalone shell sheets that Scott sells at Easy Inlay. And I will say Michael McEwen is the Canadian distributor, or one of them. So if you're in Canada, you can get that stuff from him. So here's a red, the natural. And then they got the strips. There's other colors of these guys as well. There's white, there's blue, and red. These are little thin strips that you can do inlays around around your bowls or whatever it is. So those kind of materials. I've got some extra strips. I got some skewings of gold, and then the other thing I got was I just picked up is some of these mica powders from Black Diamond. I got a variety pack, so white, blue, green, black, all kinds of different colors in there. They're really fine mica powders, and then some miscellaneous stuff in there. So, so this bucket is kind of nice. It keeps everything in its place. So, and this is about as big as my kit is going to get with this stuff. So I will leave that one out, and that one out, I believe, is the one we're going to use. And we'll leave some of this stuff out. The rest of this, I'm going to put that one back. We'll put that aside. And we'll be using some of this stuff here today. Right off, the light, the safety glasses, the filler, the CA glue, and the resin. So let's put that aside. I will say I just got in the mail today. Put that one over here. Find room for it. So here's the bottles of Illuminate, the 1 pound net weight of it. Bottles. These set me back about 50. Oops, I got my top off there. Excuse me while I grab my top down here. Put that on. I don't know I forget what they cost, but they're about, I don't know, $40 to $50 to the door. And then I just got this in the mail today. Just arrived about an hour ago. This is liquid diamonds. This is from some epoxy store. I can't remember the name of it. But this is supposed to be able to cast clear without a pressure pot. No bubbles. You can cast bubble-free castings up to 1 inch thick, which is more than enough I need for my tops of my bottle stoppers. So that I'm not going to be able to try today, but I will try it and report back in a couple of weeks. So let's work on our first little project. So let me just catch up on. Let's see. Lee says use liquid diamonds. You don't have a pressure pot. Yeah, just excellent lead in. I should have read that first, Lee. So thanks for that. Yeah. So that's what I learned as well. So I'm going to try that. We'll see how that works. It should be good. Charlie, thanks for joining. I appreciate it very much. So, Lee, let us know if you've tried liquid diamonds or not. I'd like to hear other people's experience. Mary Alice, thanks for joining. Good to have you here. And Haim, good to have you here as well. Hello. And yeah, we're off to the races. So let me just check my banners. So it's maybe a good time to talk about just Cindy's next IRD, lidded chalice with natural edge. So September 17th. So check your website for that, cindydrozda.com. We have a follow-up session next week, not this Saturday, next Saturday for the last one. So she'll announce that. Get on her email list and you'll be notified of all of that stuff. So, let's see. Maybe I'll put this up now. So I'm going to try this thing. We're going to try a little giveaway here today. So I'm going to win a bottle stopper, and it's going to be the orange one with the shell inlay. Let me get off here for a second. And oops, wrong way. So there it is there, the power shell inlay on this orange bottle stopper. I'll put a bottle stopper on it. Don't have that sitting with me. I've been swapping them in and out. So so this we're going to give away. I just want to try the giveaway feature in StreamYard here. Type the pound WTS in the comments and you'll be entered. And you can put that in as many times as you want, but you'll have one entry. So the back end of this this tool is figuring that out. And let me see. So we have one entry so far. Excellent. So I can leave this notice up for a little while. Yeah, there's Michael and Mike and a few others, David, Joe, everybody putting their entry in. Excellent. So I'll leave that up for a while, and we'll do that drawing. And let's see, it's 10 to maybe quarter after, something like that. We'll let people drift in, and we'll do the drawing then. So let's take a look at what we're doing today. So I've got. I need to bear with me as I set this up. I keep forgetting to set this slider up, so I'll stop there. I'm going back the other way. Just bear with me a second as we get this set up. It's one of the things it's the last thing I always kind of forget to do, and but it's helpful to kind of set this up. So I've got another Maypole blank on here. I'm not going to turn the shape of the bottle stopper today. I'm going to use this one to show how I go about putting the, let's see, let's put that on there, and then maybe that one. How I put in the inlay. So we'll, let me bear with my shoulder in the view there. Sorry, 1 second, we'll get that up and out of the way. So I've just kind of cut this off a little bit and clean this end off. I've got 2 little circles penciled in there to kind of outline where we're going to put the inlay. So we'll cut a little recess in there, and then we'll do our first inlay with the solar res stuff. So I'm getting my tool set up. I'm using just a parting tool just to get into the end there. And this is the Carter & Son 1/8 inch parting tool. And I'm just trying to get lined up so I can get right on center. I'll get my safety glasses on. And maybe I'll just turn myself off for a little bit. Power's on, no speed. There we go, we got speed. So I'm going to do to the second donut there. Maybe I'll switch those around. And this is very similar to how I do the end of my piston boxes if I'm doing a whiskey barrel style, using the parting tool to push in. And I have my tool at you can see in the overhead picture, it's not straight onto the end, it's kind of skewed, so I'm actually just cutting with half of the width of the parting tool. And once I get to my mark, I'll straighten it up, get parallel, semi-parallel with the bed, and make a recess. So I want this one to be, since this is going to have opal in it, you know, the loose stones, if you will, we're going to make this a little deeper than, say, doing the power shell one. And that will allow us to get the stones underneath or below the surface of the wood. That's what I'm trying to say. And now I'm going to use it kind of like a skew or scraper and just pull it sideways at a slight tilt to give it a bit of a rake. Till I get into that corner. And I'll grab my other tool, my skew. This is the Carter & Son 1/2 inch skew. Let me see, is that in? That is in focus. It's a little dark, so let me bear with my jiggliness of the camera here. Brighten that up just a little bit. Let me just see if that's in focus. So I might just spot focus that. So as I was saying, this is a 1/2 inch skew. The edges are rounded, so that's going to allow me to kind of have this round edge go in. I'm just going to clean up the edge sidewall here and just clean down to the surface there. So I just got to, it's not really too important that it's clean down there. We're going to cover it with opals and stones and stuff. So that's going to look good for me for what I need to do. So let's take that off and then switch back to overhead. We're now ready to move on to filling this thing. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to stand this up. Great tool for that for me. I know this may be sounding a bit commercial, but this carving stand really fits the bill. What I've done is I set this carving stand up so that when this is on, and we go from a side view, that's not a good one. Sorry, that one. When I put a level on here, this way and this way, it says nice and level. So that avoids resin kind of spilling out. So that's one thing to do is once you get this set up, level out your top of your turning, and you'll be good to go. So here's one of the other things I've found with this can is taller than my little bucket, so I cut a hole in it to accommodate the tallness of this thing. The other thing that came to mind was that's going to work well, and I need to put it this way. This one's just a bit too wide. It's going to catch anything that falls. So if I lose a little bit of opal or something like that, it's all in there and I don't lose any precious material. So first thing I want to do is I want to look at which opal I'm going to use, which color, and let me go back to overhead. No, overhead, Todd. And let me just... So we've got red, and this one's called confetti, and I believe we're going to use the confetti in this one. So we got some purple that's going to go in there. We want to darken this background in here. So one of the ways I've done it here in this blank is I used first CA glue, and then I poured some of that filler sealer that was mixed with some of the mica powders, and made a nice black bed to put. This one's going to get the red, so I'm going to have red against black on this one. So since we're not, kind of pressed for a little time here, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm just going to use a marker to color this. So I could have done that. I should have done this on the lathe, but this is going to work just fine. We're going to get this black background painted in here and up on the side wall, and then I'll spray it with super glue or the glue boost, and we'll seal that in. So these are Copic markers. I showed them last week or 2 weeks ago with my texture, and I used a little spray gun with them, and that looks pretty good. So already nice and black, quick and easy, done and done. So now a little bit of CA glue, and I'm going to get I should have had some paper towel prepared, just close at hand. Oop. It's getting a little tight in here with all the supplies and stuff, so let me get myself on here a little bit. And so I'll take this banner down just so it's out of the way. And let's take a look at how many people. We have 17 entries so far, so that's kind of cool. So I just got a paper towel down here just for when I need it, if I need to drop. We'll take some glue boost, CA glue. I've got other brands that would work just fine. This is going to work fine. I'm going to seal this end grain up here too. And like I said, this stuff remains open for quite a while. So I'm just going to use a little, so it's soaking in pretty quick. And it's bringing up some of the black, but I'm just trying to get the inside edge done around in there. There we go. We'll leave that. Just burp the bottle and try and get rid of the excess. So let's blast that with the, I got my fan going, so things are kind of blowing. I may have to turn that fan off. So that's good. And now we can deposit some opal in there and give it a go. That's what I'm going to do. So there we got some opal. This is where you need the little tweezers stuff in case you got to move some stuff around. I'm going to leave a little bit of black breathing space. It's not going to be completely filled with opal, but a little bit. Oops, see, this is why I've got this little top here. Very helpful. Pour a little bit in there. And I'm just going to move them around a little bit to kind of position them where I want. And this would have been, actually, it would have been good to probably put some sealer coat on here, some UV cured sealer, but we'll go straight to, now maybe I better do that. Thinking about it now. I'm going to take this off and dump it out and put some sealer in first. I missed a step. So this is we got one piece left in there. We'll get out with the tweezers. Oops, he went flying. All right. So what did I miss? This sealer, grain sealer filler is what I'd missed. So we'll pour some of that in there. And this is what I'm just gonna spread that around a little bit. Paper towel is probably not the best thing to use, but it's what I got handy right now. Just form a little brush with it. And I'm spreading it on the rim as well to kind of seal that grain. Most of this is going to be covered up with opal, so it's not too critical. Swapping out the glasses. For the, everything looks so orange. UV light, and over top, and as you can see, there's a UV light there curing, and I wonder if put that in there. 15 seconds on, 15 seconds off. And the nice thing about this is it gets you back to working right away. The other thing you want to do, or you could do, is just set this out in the sunlight. If you've got a bright sunny day, set that out there, and away you go. That's pretty cured. So the thinner it is, the quicker it cures, and stuff. So that's really what you want to be aware of. So that goes back in its box. Take those guys off. Now we put our opal back in. Hopefully I can pour these guys right back in. And maybe just move those around a little bit Want to kind of get them centered, I think. Leave a little black border around. Oops. Fiddly little bits, but do aesthetically whatever you think is good. I don't want them piled up too high because that'll create air pockets or places for trapped air to be. And then we'll get a little bit of CA and seal these guys first before we do the resin. So I think this is kind of the process that Scott Groves goes through. Check out his website. He's got some fantastic resources up there. There's 12 steps to avoid bubbles or for your resin pours. So those are good things to note. This CA glue is very liquidy, so I'm going to be careful not to kind of disturb the rocks down there because it splashes and it moves them around. So I'm just trying to embed them in the right place. Let's see if I go kind of see some of the colors. And now when I'm going to turn that fan off because it's blowing my glue boost spray all over the place. So I'm going to hold this back away so I don't blow the rocks around, or the opals. There. That's nice and solid in there now. Very quick and efficient stuff. And then we go to the Solar Res. This is the Fleck finish. This is it's a doming resin. Oops, sorry, I'm off the screen there a little bit. Doming resin. So that should, let me zoom this one in a little bit. You have to move that. Bear with me a second. I'll move that up a little bit. It's a doming resin, so but UV cure as well. And so we're going to encapsulate the rest of those opals with this resin. It's fairly warm in here, so you could warm it up in warm water to make it flow easier. You could cool it in ice water to make it dome, make the viscosity thicker and make it dome a bit better. I don't know the right way to kind of move this around. A lot of epoxy pourers say pour in one place and let it flow into its space. That's probably good advice. So from there, it's kind of not flowing all over the place. So I'm going to use a heat gun on a low speed, low fan, because I don't want to blow the epoxy out of that little hole, and just kind of get it to move around. Encourage it to fill into the right holes. I may have to pour a little bit more in there to get it to move. Use the fan maybe to blow just a little bit that way. There's one little spot that's not getting any. It's right in this corner. And bear with me, I have to take my glasses off and look really close to see where it's at. I've got one little pocket over there still. That looks good. My glass and my mic all screwed up. Okay, so let's put the cap back on our resin. Get our UV glasses on. Get our flashlight out. And one more time before I cure this. Yeah, it looks good. And I wonder, let's see if I can move this more to the center and get you a real tight view. Let's take that off. Looks pretty good. And let me just go, that's the wrong one, that one. UV cure. "15 seconds on, 15 off." Oh, I keep getting the wrong ones there. So there we go. We're still looking good overhead. Another blast of light. There we go. Looking good. I put my finger right on it. I'm just touching the outside. I'm going to get fingerprints right on the resin, so I don't want to. I've done that before. So I really don't want to touch the resin now. It's going to hold your fingerprint. Then you can polish it off, micro mesh or whatever other product you use to polish resins. Sorry, I'm getting close again. Bear with me. Yeah, no bubbles that I see. I may have to do another layer. I think I will, because I got a little opal sticking up just to the top of the resin. So let's put another layer on. I think the recommendation is don't do too much, too thickness at once. Let's see how that spreads out. Let me see if there's some comments or questions. Yeah, Michael says the CA will already seal the wood. I agree. This is what Scott does. He seals and then uses the sealer finisher from Solar Res. I don't know if there's any sort of outgassing from the CA that he's worried about. I'm not sure. Yeah, Scott makes a point. Let me just get this going. You need to make sure that the UV resin and the light you're using are compatible. So I know Solar Res, they recommend the Solar Res light for the Solar Res resins, and other lights may vary. Sorry, getting close again, trying to see. I'm going to put in a bit more. I've got a bit of a meniscus cup going. That's a little weird. So yeah, check that. These ones are compatible. So a bamboo skewer, Glenn says, or a toothpick. Yeah, I haven't wanted to really touch this stuff with a tool. I find that sometimes you can introduce particles. I've had that problem once before. Some sawdust kicking around, and that's the other thing to worry about is sawdust in the air. Make sure you don't have anything floating around. So that was Glenn's thing. Yeah, you can move to move the opals around. I thought you were talking about bubbles. Sorry, Glenn. Yeah, that would work too, to move those around. Yikes, UV resin isn't cheap. No, it's not, but it saves you from buying a pressure pot. So depends what cheap is to you. Shop space to me is premium, so that's kind of where I'm at with it. And I've got a few little gaps showing up right at the juncture there. It's worth paying attention at this point because once you cure it, then you really can't. You just have to turn it away. The nice thing about this is you got some open time before you cure it, so you can kind of go back and dab on a bit more. And I think that looks. I've got this one edge. Sorry, folks, it's a little finicky. We'll what don't you want to stick to? There we go. Now it's just got a meniscus edge, sort of just dome, just ever so slightly on top of the the pile there. So we'll cure that, and then we'll be able to kind of turn away a millimeter or maybe less, or just leave it the way it is if it looks good, and create your shape of your bottle stopper from there. 15 seconds on, and you can see this edge over here. I've kind of got a little bubble coming off, so I may have to turn just a smidgen off the top to make that smooth. Well, it looks kind of cool, the black and the confetti color, I think it's called. Should make a nice stopper. And this is, like I said, quick and easy way to do it. So we're just about at time, quarter after. And we'll set this aside. So that stopper is done. We'll take that off the mandrel. What I will do is take this out and set this outside in the sun to let it fully cure. So that's where that will go after this stream is done. Just take a little sip. And we'll move on to doing one other with the PowerShell sheet. So let me get a few things out of the way. Need that again. That again. Don't need these. Okay, so I showed you earlier the PowerShell sheets that we have, or that I got from Scott at Easy Inlay, and let me show you them here now. So I've cut out some squares just from the sheet, and then I cut out these little circles. I'll show you how to do that now, how I do that. It's very simple. It's a little different than Scott Grove had done it on his demo, but to each his own how you want to do it. There's either cut the circle out of the material and fit it to a hole that you're going to cut, or cut the hole and then fit the material to the hole. I like the fitting the hole to the material. So get rid of this. And for this, I'm going to stick on, let me go wide here. I've got this at my LEO drive. I've got I'm using it as a faceplate basically. I've got a flat surface here. So I'll stick that in the headstock. I'm going to secure it with a drawbar through the headstock so it doesn't come out. So just grinding that onto that threaded rod. So now that's not coming out. We're going to use that as our little surface to mount the shell on. And so I will say this shell, this power shell, this sheet material is already adhesive backed, right? So it's got a sheet here that you can peel, and it's got adhesive, really strong adhesive back there. So one thing you do is peel that off, stick it on, cut your shape, and then get this off. The problem I find is getting this off. Let me set up my other camera. Why didn't that show? Tailstock. Oh, it's not what I wanted. That's the view I wanted. Getting this stuff off the surface here with this glue is difficult. You'd need denatured alcohol, the very thin knife, and cut down here and separate the two. I did that. That's the way Scott does it, but I found I cracked these quite a bit more. So I have found some old carpet tape, just some stuff kicking around the shop. This is really spongy stuff. It's not really the best for this kind of thing, but since we're doing very little bit of this, it's not like a huge turning that we're going to do. We're basically going to pierce one side of the shell with the tip of a skew, and it's going to be very short term hold. So this is working for me. So whatever works in your shop, whatever double-sided tape you have, use that and do it this way if you wish. I find this is just works for me. I'm just going to try and center that as best I can. Just onto that paper backing. Leaving the paper backing on there. What this does is it gives me that paper backing to remove on the disc. If you look at these ones I've cut out, I still have the paper backing that I can peel off and use to glue in or seat into the recess. So tip of a skew. And so what size? Well, this is really kind of arbitrary. When I cut these two out, I cut them out separately. I didn't use a template. I didn't use calipers or anything, and they're pretty close to the same size. The green one is just slightly under, but it really doesn't matter because you take your calipers, you measure this, and then you measure the recess it's going to go into. So you fit it, make the wood fit to the material. So just a little pressure on there. Safety glasses. Point of a skew. And we'll just kind of arbitrarily cut there. That comes off. And that comes off really easily. Now we've got a disc cut out of material that we can fit to our opening. I'm just going to grab a piece of some sanding paper. I grabbed 240. Just going to clean the edges just a little bit. The paper does kind of make it feel raggedy. And there we go. So that's how you cut those out. So I won't do the other one, but that's how I would do, cut a bunch of those little things. One thing I think you could probably do is if you stack up a couple and cut them both at once, perhaps you can get an inlay of one into the other. So if I look at this red, and if I'd cut this green at the same time, then perhaps we can get a red with green inlay. So cut another red circle. So depending on the size you want to do, yeah, you've got some options there. But that works just dead simple for me. So, and it gives me that adhesive on the back of the PowerShell sheet to use. So take my Elio drive out. I would do a bunch of these at once if I was doing a bunch of them. So this stuff just peels off, dead simple, easy. It's not that powerful of tape. I did seal the end of this with a sealer, so it's nice and smooth and not going to pull up wood fibers with it or anything. So there we go. And now let's get our contender. We got a nice little piece of Bacote or Zircote, I'm not quite sure. And we're going to put in a colored one. I think this one was the green my wife wanted, so we're going to put the green on top of that one. And then the red is going to go on top of this. This one's a piece of nice figured mahogany, so that'll get the red stopper there. So let's see. Charlie's asking where to get the sheets from. Easyinlay.com. Let me see. So get ready for resin inlay from easyinlay.com, Luminite from Turntex. Check those out. That's going to scroll on a little bit. Comments. Let's see. What was the mandrel used on the first stopper? That's the Niles BottleStopper. So if you go to Ruth Niles, this is the mandrel that I use. It's the 1 1/4 by 8. Fits right on my threads. These are 3/8 by 16, and they're actually tapping. And so it's got a notch in there so you can tap your threads. I tend to self-tap or tap my threads myself. Look at the live stream from a couple of weeks ago. Let me actually just show that here, Steve. So if you go to, let's see, Explore Woodturning on my website, woodturningtoolstore.com, and scroll down to live stream. This is actually, you can watch the actual live stream that we're doing today right here. But if you scroll down, we talked about different texturing tools, a bit of color, a quick bottle stopper. 2 weeks ago, and then a week before that, we did stainless steel kits. I showed you how I tap and use this mandrel and get ready to do bottle stoppers. So check those out. Those are there. Let's go back to this one and comments. Let me turn that banner off. Oops. There we go. How do you cut the power sheets into smaller squares? Oh, just simple scissors. It cuts super easy, David. So here's a little scrap. And it just snips off very easily. So yeah, just scissors. It's very thin material, maybe a 32nd or whatever. So it is fragile once it gets small, or once it gets thinner pieces, like these. I don't know that I'll ever use these pieces, but this will break very easily there. It just broke. So yeah, just scissors, cut your squares out and go from there. Let's see, Martin. Oh yeah, good to see you again, Martin. Let me put up that banner again. Giveaway. Maybe I'll do this. Hang on, let me edit that. There. So there's a giveaway. I guess it will ship overseas if an overseas person wins. I didn't really think about that, but we'll do that. So good to have you here, Martin. Let's see, Michael's ants and the power sheets can be cut with scissors. Yeah, X-Acto knife. Yeah, exactly. Charlie Martin saying hi. Good stuff. Okay, let's get back to where we were. We'll mount this. This last one, we'll inlay this this piece of power shell. So that's on there. Running nice and true. You can't see that. Sorry. Just mounted the mandrel on there. And, oh, I was going to do the giveaway. That's right. Let me do that now. So let me add this to the stream. Let me go big. So we've got 21 entries. So I will go over to that sheet. We'll watch and we'll draw, see who wins the draw. So can you not see that? Yeah, I think you can. Okay. There we go. There's everybody's names. And who's going to be the big winner? John Toolman. John, so congratulations. He's watching on YouTube. If you go to my website or email me at Todd at Woodturning Tool Store, give me your particulars, and we'll get that out to you as soon as we can. So let me, John Toolman. Perhaps Shelley can write that down. So if you're watching, Shelley, I think I can find that later though. So congrats, John, to have you here. I didn't see a chat from you, but good stuff. And how do I stop that share? So let me. I wrote it down. Oh, good. She wrote it down. She says so. Congratulations, and that was for. Oh, perfect. Yeah, compressor kicks in right when you don't want it to. So, John, congratulations. That was for this little orange guy. It's got some power shell in the top, so I'll put a bottle stopper on it for you, and you'll get that if you give me your particulars. We'll get that off to you. So now we've got to get our calipers, and I had those handy here a second ago. There they are. So we will get our green one that we prepared, and we'll get the calipers. And I've got the calipers kind of set where it's just ever so slightly bigger. I'll make them just a little bit smaller than the shell because I don't want to make it too big. Get our safety glasses back on. And this one we're not going to make so deep, so we only want it deep enough to put the shell in and a coat of resin over top. So let's see, do I have a good tailstock? Good shot there. Stop the banner. Good idea. Thank you. Yeah, it's already done. So thanks for all those that joined the giveaway. That worked, I think, better than I expected. Hopefully it looked good on you at your end. Let's see. Lee said he missed the source of the power sheets. easyinlay.com. All one word and just easyinlay.com. Check that out. And James, ready for SWAT, Todd? Getting there. Pretty much, so I've got to do some practice maybe next week for my demo. Let's see. Well done, John. Yeah, so well done, John. So everybody's congratulating John Toolman for winning. So we've got our caliper set up. I'm going to kind of figure generally where my hole wants to go. So I'm going to scribe on the inside, closer to the inside than the outside, so I don't kind of screw up. And that's about got it there. So it's hard to see. Oh, you can see that. It's a little bit of a shadow line. So same process with my parting tool. This one kind of has to be flat, or at least maybe slightly indented on the center. So it'd have to be kind of a bit more care and attention, I guess, to that part of it. And we'll get out to that line. So how deep am I going? I'm probably going 3/32, maybe maybe 1/8 of an inch in depth. Let's see how close we are to a fit. I don't think we're anywhere near close, but no, we're not. I'm way off. So did I get that marked right? No, I didn't. I'm way off my mark. So let's mark that again. That looks better. Let's see. Let's put that up. That works. Okay, so let's get close to that line. Try and make it flat. If anything, make the center a little bit hollow. Just so we're at least resting on the outer side. I put a little bit of shape to this bottle stopper already, so did I cut out a red one? I cut out a green one. Okay, so this is the only green one I have, so still a ways to go. Another little 30-second out here. Getting close. So I am cutting with this edge up here along the inside of the wall. So this is a sharp edge. I hone this side of my parting tool, both sides actually a little bit. So I got a little bit of a sharper edge on there. And it's maybe not the perfect tool for doing this kind of recess, but for this shallow one, works just fine. There's really not, I don't have another tool to do that. I do have a Cindy Drozda square edge scraper hollower thing, but it's actually too fat to fit in that recess. So, so just about there. Getting there. It's a bit of a process. We'll get there. I think I took off a bit there that probably did the trick. Trying to level out the surface, and I'm feeling the inside. It's a bit humpy in the middle, so I have to do that a bit more. So we're just about there in terms of diameter. It's kind of stuck in there, so to work on the center. And work on that fit a bit. There we go. We have a good fit in there. So that's going to look nice. It's going to be a nice looking shell. So let's just take that whole thing off. Holding that shell in there because don't want to lose it. I'm going to try and get it out with my tweezers. Sorry, it's a little off camera, but I got it out. Let me just turn that off, toggle. So we got it out of the hole. So now we need to I think that's flat enough. I think that'll work. Need to set up our jig again. Get that there, and we'll put that over a little bit more. Try and get it centered. And again, this is leveled out. I had a little small level. Haven't changed these settings on the Pro Mount at all, but so this is level this way and this way. So we got a nice flat pour. We're gonna have to seal that again. So same process. Some CA glue. And we get my, this one fits over nice. And let's put that. So I'm just trying to figure out the other camera angle. Put that up in the corner. So we've got the CA glue, the glue boost stuff. We'll see. I'm going to seal this rim as well. It says Cocobolo, so it's going to be fairly dense. You can see it's not soaking in nearly as quickly as it did on the, what did we do? What was the other one we did? Oh, it was maple. It was maple. So that may have to paper towel that out a little bit, wick it out, because we don't want that much of a puddle down in there. Just wipe that around. Hide that a bit. It's soaking through. That's starting to cure on me. I can see it smoking. So this must be some moisture in this Cocobolo, because or oils that are making this thing react, because it's already smoking up on me. So the drier the wood, the better, with all this resin stuff. So that's sealed. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put, even though it might not be absolutely necessary, I am going to put some sealer finish on here, and the solar res stuff. So get my light back out, get my other safety glasses ready on my head. Got the solar res sealer finish stuff. We'll put that in there. A little bit. We're going to have to use the same paper towel treatment and wick that around a little bit. Making just a little paintbrush with the tip of that guy. Paint them around the inside lip, all across there, and I'll paint across the top of the turning, because we're going to take a slight skimming pass on this top to clean that up. Try that. This paper towel's getting crusty. I just want a little bit more out. That looks good. We'll flash that. I'm doing this because I don't want any moisture coming up from the turning to affect what's going to go on top of the power shell. So we want to seal the wood. The other way to do this is stick this thing in a kiln, this piece of wood, dry it out completely. Maybe use a non-oily wood, like nothing like a Cocobolo or its family, and have something that's not going to cause problems. Now, the only thing that may cause me a problem here is the corners in here. I've kind of got the little meniscus cup in the corners, which may interfere with my inlay. We're going to stick that down in there anyway and see. I'll have to take that off again to get that out. Maybe. Let's just try to see if the fit was still going to work. It is. All right, so time to peel this off and stick that guy down there for real. Now that might be enough to let him sit in there. I'm going to wick in some CA glue, make sure he doesn't, because what I don't want to do is have that float when I pour the resin in, or dribble the resin in. So we'll wick in some CA glue underneath that guy and have him stick down. Grab that little bit of paper towel down in there. Yeah, got myself glued up. All right, and then it's got a little tap hollow sound, so it's kind of rising or is sitting on top of the that meniscus layer. So there's a bunch of air down there. I didn't quite get them stuck down as much as I wanted. Maybe I just didn't seat it down. Okay, what resin was I using? That feels good now. I think I just didn't get it pushed down. Doesn't feel like it's lifting. So back to the resin. So this is again the Flex Finish Doming Solar Res. I should sounds like I'm repping these people, but I'm not. So we're just we're going to squeeze a bunch of this in here and encapsulate this power shell. I'm just trying to stitch it to every edge, so it's kind of there all the way around. That's looking pretty good, actually. Yeah, that's it. I got a first done on first try on that one. So let's zap that guy. Ready? No, I didn't quite get him on this side. Yeah, I got a little void right in here. Jeez, it's hard to see this stuff. This is where I need the cheaters, you know, the glasses with the magnification. Okay, now I can see a little bit of a rippled join line between that fresh layer and the stuff that's hardened just below it. So I'm gonna try and get it to flow a little bit with the heat gun. Blend in. Take another dribble. Just trying to get them to flow. I think that's got it. All right, we'll seal that up. Having good eyesight helps with this stuff, I tell you. I got to take my glasses off to see really minute details. So, but there you go. I think that's what it's going to look like. So this guy's going to go out in the sun as well. I know there's temptation to maybe touch that guy and see how it feels, but I'm not gonna, because I'll leave fingerprints. But that's kind of what it's looking like. So let me go super close, and not too bad. This is where the little ripple is, or the little dimple next to the meniscus or whatever on the edge. So that's kind of tough to fill. I'm gonna figure out a better way of doing that. But it's a pretty good pour, I think, and it's instant. So that and this guy are what we did today. So not too bad. I'm way over, 20 minutes over. But hopefully that gives you guys an idea of what can be done with this stuff. Let's see. Lee says, thank you, Todd. Probably got the easy inlay. What speed was lay that? Richard, it was probably, I don't know. I can see. Still on that mark. 2200. Yeah, 2300. Got competition. Cindy is live right now. Oh, she's probably at her show. Excellent. Good for her. Looks very nice, Todd. Thank you. Looks good. Philip looks good. Great job, Todd. Yeah, thanks, Michael. So there you go, folks. That's what you're going to get for, oops, wrong way, for resin inlay. And I'm going to try the liquid diamonds without a pressure pot, see how that goes. I really just don't have room in the shop really for a pressure pot at this time, but maybe if, but I think these are kind of a classic look. So it's nicely domed on the top there. So I tried to get this profile where it might meet up the other profile, but I'll probably take a skinning cut across there and level it all out. And then this one, same thing. We'll cut across there, and I should maybe have enough material just to skim across. But the other thing I could do is I could always pour this again, right? So when I poured these guys with the epoxy resin, the Aluminite, I just put packing tape around this and made a tall wall of packing tape and poured into that, and worked fine. So I can do the same there on any turned piece of wood, as long as I had something to tape around. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Whoops, went away. There we go. I think that's it for today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that and had learned something. If you have any questions after, please reach out. Good to see you here. So, thanks for joining in, Mike. Appreciate to have you here, and Ed, a couple of club members. Thank you for joining. And Ronald, thanks. The inlay material looks a lot easier than the way I've been doing it. So yeah, this easy inlay stuff and these UV cured resins, for pouring very thin, 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch material, it's perfect for. You can't really do deep pours with the UV stuff, but I like it. That's all I wanted to do with this stuff. So I'm happy with what I got. So, but with that, we'll say so long and see you later. Have a great weekend. Stay cool. I'm starting to sweat out here, so I got to go in. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Well, I'll be at SWAT. So if you're at SWAT, we'll see you there. Come by and stop and say hi at our store, Woodturning Tool Store. Check out my demos at SWAT. Be good to catch up with a lot of old friends. And beyond that, we'll catch you at the next live stream or somewhere else along the way. I'm Todd Rains from Woodturning Tool Store here in Allen, Texas. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now, everyone.